You made a decision today that you think you made. You picked what to eat, who to trust, whether that purchase was worth it, whether you're worth it. And here's the part nobody tells you. Your brain made most of those calls before you were even conscious of them. Not because you're weak, not because you're dumb, because you're human. And the human brain runs on shortcuts. Shortcuts called cognitive biases. Today we're exposing 5 of the ones doing the most damage. And more importantly, what you actually do about them. Let's go. Here's the uncomfortable truth about your brain. It was not designed to help you make good decisions in the modern world. It was designed to keep you alive in a world full of predators and starvation. That world is gone. The brain, still running the same software. So when you wonder why you keep procrastinating on things that matter, stay in relationships that drain you, spend money you didn't plan to spend, or convince yourself the risky thing is actually fine. It's not a character flaw. It's a bug. A predictable, repeatable bug. The researchers who study this, Kahneman, Thaler, Ariely, have spent decades proving that we are not the rational agents we think we are, and the worst part? The more confident you feel in a decision, the more likely a bias is involved. So here are the 5 that are almost certainly running your life right now, and I'll tell you exactly how to catch each one in the act. Bias number 1, confirmation. Bias. This one is the godfather of bad decisions. Your brain loves to be right, so much so that it will actively filter reality to protect your existing beliefs. You believe crypto is going to the moon? You find every bull case article and ignore the warnings. You think your business idea is solid? You pitch it to friends who'll support you and call that market research. Here's the real-world damage. People stay in bad investments, bad jobs, and bad relationships, partly because their brain keeps serving them evidence that they made the right call. Think about the last time someone changed your mind on something you felt strongly about. Difficult to remember, right? That's not stubbornness. That's your brain's firewall doing exactly what it was built to do. The fix. Actively seek the opposite case. Before any major decision, ask yourself, what would I have to believe for this to be a terrible idea? Make yourself argue the other side. It feels uncomfortable. That discomfort is the bias losing its grip. Bias number 2. The sunk cost fallacy. You've already spent time, money, or emotion on something, so you keep going, even when every signal says stop. The degree that's not working. The startup that's bleeding cash. The 3 seasons of a show you hate, but you've already watched 2 of. You keep going because stopping feels like losing. But here's the cold logic your brain refuses to accept. The past investment is gone. It doesn't exist as a future asset. The only question that matters is, does continuing make sense from where I stand right now? Netflix famously studied this. They found people will watch content they're not enjoying for hours, simply because they started it. The sunk cost is burning their evening, and they know it, and they keep watching. The fix. When you're evaluating whether to continue something, mentally erase what you've already put in. Ask only, if I were starting fresh today with no history here, would I choose this? If the answer is no, that's your answer. Bias number 3, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. You've probably heard of this one, but I guarantee you're applying it wrong. Most people use Dunning-Kruger to explain why other people are overconfident idiots. Oh, they don't know what they don't know. Cool diagnosis. But the whole point of the effect is that you cannot see it in yourself in real time. The research shows that people with low knowledge in a domain wildly overestimate their competence, not because they're arrogant, but because they lack the framework to know what they're missing. And here's the part that stings. Experts often underestimate themselves because they know exactly how complex the domain is. So let me ask you this. What's something you're pretty confident about right now? Investing, relationships, your health, your industry, that you haven't actually stress tested with someone who knows more than you? The fix. Seek out people who are further along than you and specifically ask them where your thinking breaks down. Not validation, demolition. The gaps they show you are worth more than the confidence you're protecting. Bias number 4, the availability heuristic. Your brain judges how likely something is based on how easily an example comes to mind, not based on actual statistics. Plane crashes feel more terrifying than car crashes. Shark attacks feel more common than they are. And the entrepreneur who made millions feels like proof that you can too, because their story is everywhere, and the 90% failure rate is not. This is why people fear the wrong things and chase the wrong opportunities. The loudest stories override the actual data. The media knows this. Advertisers know this. Algorithms definitely know this. The more vivid, emotional, and recent a story is, the more weight your brain gives it, regardless of whether it's representative. The fix. When something feels obviously risky or obviously safe, ask, am I thinking this because of evidence or because of a story I've heard? Then go find the base rate, the actual statistical reality behind whatever you're evaluating. It's almost always less dramatic than the example in your head. Bias number 5, and possibly the most damaging for your relationships, the fundamental attribution error. When you mess up, you explain it with context. I was stressed. I didn't have enough information. It was a bad day. When someone else messes up, you explain it with their character. They're lazy. They're selfish. They don't care. We hold ourselves to a situational standard and others to a character standard. Every time. This destroys teams, marriages, friendships, and leadership. Because the person you just dismissed as not a team player might be drowning in something you have zero visibility into. I'm not telling you to excuse bad behavior. I'm telling you that the automatic judgment your brain makes in the first 3 seconds is almost always missing at least half the picture. The fix. Before you write someone off, ask one question. What would have to be true about their situation for this to make sense? You don't have to agree. You don't have to forgive. But you should at least see clearly before you decide. All right, 5 biases, 5 fixes. Let's lock them in. Confirmation bias. Argue the opposite case before any major decision. Sunk cost fallacy. Erase the past investment. Decide from right now. Dunning-Kruger. Find someone who will break your thinking, not validate it. Availability heuristic. Trade vivid stories for actual base rates. Fundamental attribution error. Context for yourself, context for others. None of this is about becoming a perfectly rational robot. That's not possible. The goal is just to catch the pattern 1 second earlier, because 1 second is enough to make a different call. If this hit, I want you to do one thing before you close this tab. Pick the one bias you felt most in your chest while watching this. You know which one, and identify one decision, one thing in your life right now, where that bias might be doing the work instead of you. Write it down, even just in your phone. Because the moment you name it, it loses about half its power. That's not metaphor. That's literally how metacognition works. If you want more of this, the real psychology behind how we think, decide, and get in our own way, subscribe. I put out 1 video a week. No filler, no recycled advice. And if you've got a friend who needs to hear any of this, because you know who they are, send it to them. Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is just hand them the right mirror. I'll see you in the next one.